Shalom and good morning. Now, Christians like to argue that what makes a person God is by being called God. That Yeshua, Jesus, is God because he says, I am. And that he says, the Father and I are one. And that he's called God by Thomas. Well, the I am statements are not proof of God. Ego and me is not Asher, Ehyeh, Asher, Ehyeh. And the ego and me within the Exodus verse, if you're looking at the Septuagint, has a definite article along with it. And the ego and me within the New Testament lacks the definite article. Kind of like the same way in John 1:1, the word, when it's called theon, it's lacking the definite article. But I would like to point out that prophets such as Moshe, Rabbeinu, Moses, Isaiah, Ezekiel, Jeremiah, Hosea, would have all says, I am the Yud-Keh Vav-Keh, the Lord, in multiple instances, as well as, God calls Moses God. And, for the Father and I are one argument, Jesus, therefore you're God, says that the apostles should be one as they are one, as the Father and him are one, and be one with him and the Father as he is one with the Father. So God would have then made the disciples God. So now we have multiple gods. Most Trinitarians' arguments like this fall apart. I've seen Trinitarians argue that says, he performed miracles. Okay, so did the apostles and the disciples perform miracles as well. Okay, he raised people from the dead. Yeah, so did Elijah, Elisha, Paul, Peter, all raised people from the dead. He walked on water. Yeah, so did Peter. The only reason why Peter stopped walking on water was because he got scared and he lost faith. The Father calls him God. Okay, all right. That's Hebrews 1:8. And, that's quoting a psalm. And again, Moses is called God by God. And no, your English version says as God or like God, but the Hebrew does not say that. The Hebrew just says, and I have made you God. That's what the Hebrew says. It doesn't say as God. It doesn't say like God. It just says, I made you God. And this is also a proof text because it says Elohim. He says to Moses that he makes him Elohim. So when you're trying to say that Elohim is plural, then Moses is therefore a part of that plurality now as God. So you no longer have a trinity. You have more than a quadrinity because you have all the disciples, which include us, by the way, and you have Moses, and you have all the prophets. So it's beyond Trinity.